Hey, is it your goal to lose weight? Having trouble getting started? I lost 35 pounds in 120 days, and you can do it too. It is not as hard as you may think it is. This is the video that will inspire and motivate you. Stick around and find out how I did it. Hey, Zoey here. Yes, I did. I lost 35 pounds in 120 days, and it was not that hard. I did it by doing 3 things, and you can do it too. It was done by walking, regulating my eating, and getting consistent sleep. It is important to get the right amount of sleep. What is recommended is 7 to 9 hours, and do be consistent with the bedtime. That helps a lot in just overall health in general. Another thing that's important to do is to go see a doctor if you have not been working out or been inactive for a very long time. You don't want to overdo it, don't want to tax yourself and cause any kind of harm. So do see a doctor and let him know what you're about to do, that you're starting a new exercise routine, and he will give you any kind of advice that's needed. I am not a doctor. I'm a sports enthusiast. I've been in sports all of my life. I did judo most of my life. And after I got out of judo, the normal thing happens. You do less activity, you eat more, you're not regulating the diet so much. And I crept up to 160 and then to 170 and stayed in the 180s for the next couple of 3 decades. And then a big event came up in my life about 4 years ago, and I decided that I was going to transition from male to female. And weighing in at about 185 plus, I decided that I wanted to get my body in as best physical fitness shape that I could, because when you transition, you're about to put your body through a lot of different kinds of change. And especially if you're going to have the surgery. And if you're going to have the surgery, there's some weight regulations and requirements that are in place. I began just working out and got down to 165 during my pre-transition. I spent about a year on that pre-transition, getting in the best shape that I possibly could for somebody that's 60 years old. Once I began the hormones, I decided to ease up a little bit and let a little bit more fat and carbohydrates into my systems. And I crept back up. But as I got prepared for surgery, I did get back down to 175. So I went into surgery, and when you come out of surgery, the next month or so, you're pretty much in bed except for your restroom breaks, and you gradually start being allowed to walk to the kitchen and walk back, and that's enough. By the time you get back to that bed, you're ready to be back to that bed. And you pretty much stay on that level of activity for the first couple of 3 months. And as you approach about 3 to 4 months, you get outdoors and you start walking a little bit, and these are short walks. You're not going to walk very far, you know, 1/8 of a mile, 1/4 of a mile. And by that time, my post-surgery weight, when I was getting out of bed, I was creeping up to 195 pounds. There's 35 pounds there of what we called surgery weight. And it's not good weight at all. It's unhealthy weight, but it's going to come with the territory. So you need to really start doing something about that weight. And as before, I began walking every day. And I also tracked my activities, and that's another thing you have to do. You need to track 3 things, and later in the video I'm going to show you the apps and my own chart of tracking my weight loss and the app that I tracked my food intake with. So I'm tracking all of that. So as I began walking, I started increasing the distances. And a good goal to have when you do begin walking is work up to about 30 minutes. You definitely need to hit that as your base minimum. And you really don't need to go beyond 5 miles. If you work up to where you're doing a daily average of 5 miles, that's taking you about an hour 15 to an hour and a half, that's really good. And as you reach that plateau, what you want to do to help increase that calorie burn is to start shortening the time that you're out there walking. You don't want to shorten the distance because there's a relationship between the amount of time that you walk and the distance. And so if you can get your 5 miles down to where you're under 90 minutes, you're doing great. If you need to limit it to 30 minutes, get close to 3 miles, make that your goal, 3 miles at 30 to 40 minutes, that's fantastic. Do that. If you're burning between 70 to 80 calories for every 10 minutes, that's a fantastic rate. You're on the right path. The app that you're going to use for tracking your activity is from Under Armour. And the one I use is Endomondo. But they have Map My Walk, Map My Run, and those are all real good. The thing I liked about Endomondo is it will track all kinds of different activities. I think there's about 40 or 50 activities that you can use that thing to track. Bicycling, badminton, swimming, weightlifting. And I used it for the walking, and I also use it for hiking. And I do have some videos that are under the vlog category where I take the camera with me and just do a little vlogging about whatever's on my mind: physical fitness, exercise, diet, recipes, any and everything. It's a vlog. That's what I do. Okay, so the other app that I use is also Under Armour, and you use that for tracking your diet, everything you eat. And it's a great app. The day is broken down into 4 eating sessions: your breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snack. And when you input what you eat, it has a database. You select the food, and it will give you the information about how many calories that is, what it has as far as nutrients, whether it's carb, fat. Say you eat a bagel, it's going to tell you what percentage of it is carbohydrate, what's protein, and what is fat. Fat, carbohydrate, and protein, yes. And the great thing about it being, both apps being Under Armour, is it will import your activity. So now what you have is it's going to create your net calorie intake, because you have your base that you start with. Now your average human needs about 2,000 or so calories per day. But now if you do an activity of about 800 calories, then you can increase that amount to about 2,800. Then the app monitoring what you eat will subtract the calories and you get your net calories. Now, to maintain your constant weight, that's where the 2,000 calorie per day comes in. And I lowered mine to 1,200. And now the app becomes very important because it's going to give you the data about what you're getting as far as your nutritions that you need. And it has macros that will break down what you're getting as far as carbohydrates, protein, and fat. And then another macro within it will give you the breakdown of potassium, magnesium, manganese, trans fat, unsaturated fat, vitamin A, vitamin D, everything. Okay, this is the icon symbols for the 2 apps, Endomondo and MyFitnessPal. And now we go to the opening screen of Endomondo. This is what it looks like. It gives you a map of your area, and the top number will be where you are in relationship to any goal that you have set. You can pick different types of goals, and you'll find that in settings. I use a previous walking of mine just to go against my own record. Next, we go to the active screen of after you've started, and you can see where I've been walking for 1 minute and 10 seconds. I'm 13 seconds behind a previous goal, and 16:29 is the rate that I'm walking, the pace. Now, when you finish, you'll get a screen like this, and it'll show you a map that you can click on, and it'll give you 12 different stats ranging from the amount of time you walked, the distance you walked, your pace, average speed, and so forth. Next, we have a monthly summary that it will give you, telling you how far you walked, how much time you spent. Now, when you go to MyFitnessPal, there's all kinds of settings and goals that you can set, and you'll just have to go through that because it's just really too much to go into for this video. And when you start with your diary, which will be the second from the left on the bottom, you have home, diary, and recipes, and then the far right one is your personal setting where you can set goals. And after you begin using the diary, and here's one where I entered my Greek turkey burger, and you can see at the top where I have my goal of 1,200 calories. But from Endomondo, you can see that I used 722 calories. So that's added to that, and then your daily calorie count is subtracted, so you get a net over on the far right at the top. This is in that tab at the bottom, the far right that I mentioned just a minute ago, where you can set your goal for your target weight. And I did it in baby steps because I started at 193, and my first goal was 175, and then to 160, and then to 150. So you set a goal, you make that goal, you set a new goal, you make that goal, and so forth. And that's it for my 3 steps of losing weight. I hope you find this to be of some benefit. Maybe it will get you out there motivated to lose the weight if that's been your goal. You have the 2 apps, one for tracking your activity, the other for tracking your food and calories. And the 3rd app is the good old paper and pen. You need to write your weight down every single day. I suggest doing it in the morning because it's done. It's also the time of day that you will be lighter than in the evening. And please give me the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and thank you for watching. I will see you next time. Peace. I do appreciate you watching, and I'd love to have you join me on a walk or check out one of these other videos. And until next time, have a great day and see you later.